Hey everybody, this is Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff, and right here I've got two Nintendo Switches. This one is my husband's, and this one is mine. I decided that I liked just the plain look, and he decided that he liked the neon Joy-Cons. Although honestly, if they come out with a Pikachu theme or something like that, you know I'm going to be getting them. So, my husband and I have had the Nintendo Switch for a couple of days now, and I feel comfortable enough to talk about it a little bit. So I just wanted to give some impressions, kind of my review at this point. This is very much and primarily a gaming device right now. We do not have things like Netflix. We do not even have a web browser right now. There are things on the 3DS that I really love, such as Spot Pass and having the pedometer so that I can collect play coins for my games. None of that is happening right now. Nintendo really just wanted to focus on the gameplay aspect. So for right now, I just want to talk about just that. So as a gaming console, I didn't know what to really think about this. I have the NVIDIA Shield tablet and I've got the little controller with it, and to me I figured the Switch would be just like that. And that's kind of persnickety. It can be kind of fidgety. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. When I opened the box though and I set this up, I was so happy to see that this just works. Oh my gosh, I don't think that was supposed to be the right way. Oh my gosh, it's stuck! But that was so easy. Crap. The Nintendo Switch really is quite magical. That is the experience that I have had with this, thankfully. I'm so happy to have something that feels so different in form and in execution. Where it truly shines is being able to play with a constant companion. Snipper Clips has been well worth the $20. My husband and I laughed all night long. You can play that with 4 people. It's magical just to have one, but to have 2 in that constant companion makes it so and completely worth it. I have so much joy taking these Joy-Con things out and placing them back in. I don't know if that's going to wear out over time. So is this worth it? Absolutely. I understand that there are people who do not like being early adopters, and this does not offer a very large gaming catalog right now. But with what it does right now, the potential is huge. Over these past couple of days, all I have done is play Breath of the Wild, and that is just like so many other people lately. That game is absolutely phenomenal. It is incredibly immersive to be able to play it on the big screen TV, pull it off and continue in the car. I'm telling you, it works perfectly, looks really great on both ends. And what I've been finding curious from people is that they're complaining that the pixel density on this is not as good as a smartphone, for example. People have 1080p and Quad HD smartphone displays, and that works really well. But I can tell you that 720p when playing Breath of the Wild on this has been more than enough. Playing 1-2 Switch has been more than enough. Playing Snipper Clips so far, it's been more than enough. So if you guys are worried that this feels below par for spec for some reason, don't. It looks really, really good. And that's something that I've been incredibly excited about, because if you guys have seen my saga about the 3DS XL and being upset about IPS versus TN screens and having terrible color temperatures on those screens, I was hoping and praying that that was not going to be something that Nintendo was dealing with the Switch. And I am happy to say that the display on this thing is top-notch. Now you guys can give me all the feedback that you want. You can let me know what's going on with your guys's, but I've got 2 units right here. Both of these look IPS to me. They've got good viewing angles. And thankfully the color temperature on these is pretty nice. It's a little bit on the cool side, but the colors look really nice. I can tell that this has a wide gamut, a wide enough gamut anyway. It's got to be at least sRGB on here. When I can, I will measure it. That probably is overkill. But the reds look lush on here, the greens, the blues, everything looks really, really nice. So I'm happy that Nintendo has put a good screen on here. I don't have any dead pixels. My husband doesn't have any dead pixels. So thankfully, I've got a good unit. I don't have any of the problems that I'm seeing around the internet right now. I just wanted to tell you guys this to reassure you that quality is there. As for how these Joy-Con feel themselves, I have actually been really delighted. I've got really teeny tiny little hands. And while these are going to be really teeny tiny for the majority of people out there, these are perfectly sized for me. And I thought that I would really like playing it in handheld mode where they're connected to the console itself, but I find that for someone who's small, it's kind of awkward to keep my arms out this far for a prolonged period of time, and ever since I pinched the nerve back in my neck, I've had a little bit of issues here and there playing games in any weird way. So what's really nice is just simply being able to hold these at my sides comfortably while I have the game pitched to the screen, or just simply having this out in front of me. And I can easily control these without any pain at all in my shoulders or in my back. So if you're somebody who has gaming wrists or gaming elbow or any problems like that, it's really nice that you can use these wirelessly and independently and keep yourself comfortable as you're playing. I think this type of gaming is going to be very helpful and more healthy for people. Now, as for battery life, it is not phenomenal. I'm getting like 3 straight hours of Zelda Breath of the Wild gameplay. Nintendo is really banking on you plugging this into the dock to have it charge while you play at the same time. And for a lot of the time, when I'm at home, that works seamlessly, and I don't have much complaints about that. On the go is when it gets a little bit more complicated, and right now what I've been doing is just using my car charger that I have for my phone. And now, while that doesn't charge fast in any meaningful way when you are playing it, it is giving it that trickle charge to help top my battery up as I'm driving. You can get also external battery banks, but you need to make sure that they are one that's actually going to contribute to charging this quickly enough. I'm honestly okay with the battery life. It is what I expected pretty much. It reminds me very much of playing on my 3DS XL with 3D on, something like Link Between Worlds. So if you're used to the 3DS XL and that particular gaming environment, this feels very, very similar battery-wise. Now for some critiques. First thing I notice is that the screen lens keeps wanting to come up a tiny bit on one side. The adhesive isn't holding it down flush like it should. It's extremely minute, but I notice that I can push it back down and it will slowly peel back up. But it's like this just the same on my husband's unit, so I'm assuming that this is common, so I'll probably just take a heat gun to it to make sure it doesn't get any worse. And another thing to comment on is that we've got plastic all along the front here, which is actually a good thing. If you've got glass, it's easier to break it. But this is a device that you're going to want to at least put a screen protector on, and I've already got one on here. I'm seeing that some of the docks are a little bit bent so that when you place your Switch in there, it's scratching up the sides on here. So putting a screen protector on here is going to fix that for you. Otherwise, it is quite fingerprinty. You can see very, very smudgy body. And what I was planning on doing was getting a skin for this right away, right out of the gate. That was one of the things that I wanted to do. Now, of course, I've been seeing all over the interwebs that some adhesives do not play well with the Switch. And because of that, companies like D-Brand and Slick Wraps have stopped production, making skins for this. Companies like Decal Girl and Skin It, though, claim to have different adhesives that are not destroying the Switch, and you've also got the PDP skin as well that seems to not be harming the Switch. So we're gonna have to wait a while to see what's going on with the skin world, and we'll see what pans out and what Nintendo has to say about all that. But just keep in mind that accessories like getting a skin are a little bit hard to come by right now. Another thing to comment on the back here is this kickstand, which I kind of say acts as the cover to the SD card slot that we have here. And this kickstand is pretty rubbish, you guys. It works when it's sitting on a table, but that's about it. It needs to be a completely flat surface. As soon as it's a little bit of an uneven surface, this thing is just going to fall right over. It does feel pretty flimsy, but I am thankful that they put a little bit of rubber down here so it doesn't just slide around all over the place. I'm actually thinking of investing in the stand that allows you to set it on the stand, and the stand has a wider base and also allows you to plug it in. I have become a little bit frustrated by not being able to charge and play it at the same time. Nintendo really wants you to dock this thing, charge it, and play it at the same time. So for that reason, I can see that's why they did not place this USB-C charging port anywhere else on the device. I get it. It's just a little bit of a design complaint. Another design complaint that I'm seeing all over the interwebs, and the very first thing that I did was to take those Joy-Con covers and put it on the wrong way. So I had a fantastically stuck little Joy-Con cover. I could not get it off, and I pretty much made myself bleed by the time I was able to force it off. Even when you do place it on the right way, I am a little bit interested, Nintendo, as to why it's not so seamless to remove. These things are so easy to place into the Switch, and the little cover is so easy to place on. Why is it not as easy to take off? Over time, I am becoming more skilled with it. I think altogether, eventually, I just won't even use the Joy-Con covers at all. Otherwise, besides those little bit of annoyances, this has been a very good experience. I have not had any disconnecting issues with my Joy-Cons, although sometimes it'll be an interesting task to get them both to realize that they're disconnected and being used remotely at the same time. So I am impressed, Nintendo. About 95% I would give this out of 100. Gameplay is great, it's immersive, it's magical, almost like going to your first trip to Disneyland. It's a completely different world and experience. So this is all that I want to say for now. This has been Erica, the technology nerd who likes to film stuff. Please rate, comment, and subscribe. Let me know how your Switch experience has been going thus far. I'm gonna go play more Breath of the Wild. Have a good night.